That. Free kicks. No touching.
I was born in 1947, so that was shortly after the Second World War. And when I was around 9, my brother and I, my brother who's a little older than I am, we went to New York to study martial arts. I'm both a lawyer and a Taekwondo master. And so I spend my time fighting in different arenas. And the motto of our school, Daehan Martial Arts, is to live without fear, to fight the good fight.
It's going to point to 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock on the clock. Okay? But you got to point your toes to the mirror. Let's see if Jack can do it. Go, Jack. Good, Jack, but hit the middle. Backstab.
In the mid-50s, at that point you had a lot of Japanese immigrants to America after the Second World War. I was trained in karate and jiu-jitsu and boxing by Japanese masters. And I kept training in karate for years, including through law school and beyond. More than 25 years ago, I switched over to Taekwondo. After the Korean War, there was a growing influx of Korean immigrants to the United States. So before that time, Taekwondo was really not available in America.
All the way down, guys. All the way down. Everybody stand up. 10 jumping jacks worth today in 3 times. What's the word?
1, 2, 3,
Second line, face the mirror. Guys, move down.
There is a difference in the mentality, and there's a difference in the way the fighters will fight. The Japanese mentality for defense is the best defense is aggression. So if you are the first one to move, you have the advantage, and it's the best defense, is offense. The Korean mentality is counterpunching. So the best defense is a counterpunch. From a technical point of view, people would look and they initially, if they're not trained, they won't recognize the differences.
I do trained Taekwondo and Hapkido.
The next 2 techniques demonstrate escapes from shoulder grabs. At this point, his arm is extended and twisted.
I used to teach when I was in Korea. So I want to open up school and teach. I was in USA 1981. New York City has a lot of Koreans. They lived there back then. So I come to New York City. Then I moved to New Jersey. I got a instructor job position. A lot of Korean moved into New Jersey years ago. Hard to find a Korean restaurant.
I've lived in Leonia since I was 3 years old, so 46 years. Leonia has always had a very challenging central business district because it's not a continuous geographic location. It's broken up by municipal buildings, it's broken up by a church, a gas station, etc. So it's difficult than many other central business districts to maintain a business here. We have had a significant number of businesses come in and leave over the years. Although some have stayed for years and years, a hardware store that's been here for decades, jewelry store, etc. But we have lost things like a bakery. We have lost some of our restaurants. Some Italian restaurants have come in and gone out. And over time, many of those have been replaced. I do have residents tell me all the time that they wish that there was a bagel store in Leonia when there was years ago, that there was a quote-unquote American bakery, if you will, in Leonia when there was 30, 35 years ago. It's not that we've been detrimentally impacted by the changes, it's just that the Central Business District doesn't cater to as wide a cross-section of Leonians as it used to. Many of the Korean businesses, unfortunately, tend to cater almost exclusively to Korean-speaking residents and shoppers, and I don't speak Korean, so therefore I'm unable to patronize those stores. And some of them obviously don't have merchandise that I may be interested in, but I think it's more of an issue of some of these stores catering primarily to Korean-speaking shoppers versus not just catering to Koreans as an ethnic group.
Most Korean, they have any store owner, any kind of store, they dry clean or any, then they only few words, few sentences to live on, and the jobs like hello, hi, how much, so they kind of very hard time with most people, not everybody, but most people, they give up. So then they go to Korean church. So that's why Korean church, you go Sunday, you go there, then they talk about the culture, they talk about them, but still they live in United States, they don't know USA culture even. They live in small Korean community again. So you think they know they live in USA, but they don't know anything about. That's really sad, but that's the reality.
I think the influx of Korean immigrants in Leonia has differed very significantly from the influx of other ethnic groups over the years, because as the Korean immigrants have come in to the community, they've really not assimilated as much, frankly, as other ethnic groups have over the years. Leonia is a very diverse community. We have over 20 plus languages spoken in our public schools, and for the most part, including Korean community members, we are a very diverse and inclusive community. I think many Koreans, when they came, sort of tried to and continue to try to remain intact, almost a subculture, if you will, of the larger community. And so what happens is businesses open that only serve Koreans, and frankly, there aren't enough Koreans in this community or the surrounding communities to sustain those businesses.
When I go travel other countries, I'm not looking for, looking for Korean restaurant or anything. So I want their food. And when I go travel, say I try, but in most American they don't do that. They go to even other countries. They're looking for McDonald's, looking for something. So like they afraid to try. Sussex County is my second hometown. I know 3 generations now. So I teach all the way grandfather to now little younger kid. So I taught many. So that's why reason I like New Jersey, because sort of my hometown in US.
Friday, close to Christmas time. All right. Guys, you know where you're standing.
American Airlines, great stand.
How are you?
I think what we find with Daehan, and the reason it's been successful, is because it introduces the concepts of discipline and focus and balance, which are really bedrock principles of Asian cultures, especially Korean cultures, to non-Koreans.
Well, the reason that I started martial arts was self-defense was the number one reason. The impression I get when parents come in is that the reason the parents want the children to start martial arts is because of discipline. If you ask the same child will probably say self-defense. It's interesting. He's not thinking in terms of discipline or self-respect, whether this is healthy for me. He has a much more practical approach. The same child will say, why am I doing Taekwondo? To be able to defend myself.
Last and most important vow to your parents.